Hey, good evening, everybody. You're listening to the Vegas Knights Tales right here. Benny Baccarat, Jimmy Bags. We're missing one.
We're missing the third stooge.
Missing the third stooge, yeah. Danny Craps is missing me. I think he's hanging out at the proctologist. He's been hanging out there about once a month. Yeah, he's hung up. Yeah,
he called cussing. He said he wasn't going to make it, so...
Danny, I hope you're not cussing too bad.
Really?
The doctor's easy on you.
That's
you know
right.
how that goes.
Don't get them mad at you if anyone else.
Make sure you don't have them greased up gloves.
Really?
Yeah, it was starting to cool down out here in
it's beautiful.
Vegas a little bit. Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
getting nice out now. A little windy today, but it's nice. The evenings are beautiful now, flat beautiful. And we was talking a little, getting ready to talk a little bit about travel around here in Las Vegas, what it's like to get around in this city. And this is unlike any other city. Other cities have big monorails, they have trains, subways. We don't have nothing but cabs. That's basically about it.
If you remember as kids here, even when it wasn't a very big town, there was always a traffic problem, wasn't there?
Always.
The streets were always traffic. The flood, when it rained, it was always flooded.
Yeah.
The transit system sucks.
It's the same way.
To be honest with you, that's one setback the city never seemed to catch up to. Is now they tear up the streets all in one direction. So there's all, you know what I mean? They just do things in a weird way.
Every street you go down now
is constructed. Yeah,
it's tore up.
Exactly.
It's a
Either
mess.
way, you try to take back streets that we know as growing up here, shortcuts. No,
you can't do that.
Can't do it.
They've got them all tore.
Yeah,
and
it's
there's
a
nobody
mess.
working on them.
That's right.
They got the cones all up. They got all the equipment out there, but there's nobody out there. It's a mess.
I remember when the only freeway they had was from the Tropicana to Sahara. Remember that?
Yeah,
that was the only
91.
stretch of freeway.
Yeah, that was the road to L.A.
Yeah, exactly.
What they called it.
Yeah.
And, well, look at Sahara. It was San Francisco. That was all dirt
that's
road.
Right. That's right.
Bond Road was the Tropicana. I mean, they got a lot of these streets that a lot of people don't realize. They were all dirt road.
Yeah.
Craig Road, same way.
Ann
all
Road.
dirt.
Where
Ann
I live
Road.
now. Lone Mountain Road. We used to go rabbit hunting up there.
Yeah.
Behind the mountain.
Yeah.
It was where you take your guns and you shoot it up. There was nobody out there.
Nothing. There was nobody out there.
Nothing.
I mean, now you can't shoot a firearm anywhere in this.
Well, you have
town.
to go to the range.
Well, actually, they do
That
a lot
new
of
range.
shooting around, but it's the wrong.
You're not supposed. They'll take your guns if they catch
it's the
you.
wrong people doing the shooting.
Yeah.
There are killings every day here, but
we do it as a sport.
Yeah. Oh, we always did. You can't shoot your guns off too much anywhere. But we was talking a little bit about the monorail. That was the only thing we thought was really going to be a go out here, and it was going down the strip. And certain hotels wanted it, other hotels did not want it. But it started breaking down all the time. So there's a lot of money
and
in
not cheap to fix.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in having that fixed every time.
And like I was mentioning to you early, Disneyland had it 35 years ago.
Yeah.
And these people can't seem to get it going. And it does, like you said, it doesn't really make sense. They got these stations and they go to 3 casinos or something. What's the point?
Well,
they should have this a town.
Oh, this thing, it should be to where you can get around this town with no problem at all.
That's
you
right.
can't.
No, not.
You catch a cat bus. If you catch a cat bus from way out northwest, northeast, any of those, and try to get down to the strip, it's going to take you an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because you have to stop 80 million times to get anywhere. Then they sit there for 10, 15 minutes waiting people to get
If they're
on
on time.
If they're on time.
I'm going to tell you, I lived in Chicago for about a year and a half, and I had a bartending job on the north side. I lived on the south side. And I used to have to take the bus from where I was to the other. That's the best bus system I've ever seen in my life. You can go anywhere in that city and go to the corner of just about where you're going. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's amazing. It was a long ride, but they were on time. I mean, I used to go to work and come home on them, and their timing was perfect. They were always on time. And every block or so, they'd have an express that went right through. You know what I mean? Only stop at a certain. Then they had the normal ones that stopped every stop.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So if you got to the point where you could express the rest of the way, it was beautiful. We need to take some lessons from them because
Well,
they
we
have a
got to take
great
lessons
transit.
from every
Oh.
city
Beautiful.
out there.
It's beautiful. I mean, you don't even need a car. Like I remember when I was going to bartending school, I lived on 31st Street in the city. Right? So I'm new at the city. So I drive down to the bartending school, which was downtown. I come out, guess what the bill was? The park was $40.
$40.
$5 an hour or something they charged. So I said, wait a minute.
Yeah,
So
what's
my
wrong with
friend
this
said,
picture?
Jimmy, why don't you just leave the car and take the bus? You can pick the bus up on the corner of 31st, and it takes you all the way downtown. And I did. It cost you $1 or something. I'd
Yeah,
do that
$1.
in, do that out, and that was it from that point on. It was beautiful, man.
Now, you can't do that out here.
Here you couldn't time it right, I don't think. If you had to take
No.
a bus to be to work, you'd be late too many times. Think if you had to go from your house to where you work
No, forget
on a
about
bus. How long? You'd have to get ready 2 hours ahead of time, wouldn't you?
And then it's
And then it's
going
a
to take
flip.
2 hours. to
Yeah,
get there.
exactly.
You know,
That's not
I-
right. That's
no.
not the way it should be.
No.
You know?
This system out here is bad, but yet they can take a place out there like Yucca Mountain,
Yeah.
spend $96 billion.
But they don't know if they're going to use it yet.
they don't
though.
know if they're going to use $96 billion.
That's how they steal, Pat.
I mean, these hotels out here, some of these the most expensive ones are $4 billion, and look how gorgeous they are.
Yeah, it ain't.
And you're looking
That's
at a
all
piece of dirt out
gaff.
there.
Do you know what they spend most of that on? Checking the soil,
Oh yeah,
doing the, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
all that government stuff, regulations for this, regulations for that. When they really want to do is just give us their dump shit here in Nevada because they think we're desolate, but our state still matters,
sure it does.
To us it does.
It does.
There is some secluded places out there. I can tell you that.
Yeah, there's a lot
Out in
of
the middle, when they
secluded
say out in the
places.
middle of nowhere, they're not lying.
You go. You
I'm
take.
telling you, man.
take that road from here to Reno. I mean, that's
How about
a
try the
desolate
one
road.
from St. George to Ely across the
Yeah,
state?
there
Try
you
that
go.
one. You
Yeah.
could break down and die there in your car. Nobody ever comes around there. There's no cars, no cell service, no cars come by.
Oh, not even
I got stuck
donkeys
doing.
out
I
there.
took the, no nothing.
Yeah, there's
You'd
nothing
be still
out
out there.
Hey,
Yeah,
just-
that's scary, man.
yeah. If you've never taken that trip, it's an experience.
Yeah,
Because now nowadays everything's cell phones.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their cell phone. Well, going that way there, they have Nellis. I guess has that whole area. They got it blocked off where you can't use cell phones.
Yeah.
They jam all of that stuff.
is that what they do?
Yeah.
I thought it was just because it was so desolate
No,
out there.
they jam all that because that's all Area 51, all the way up in that area up there, all the way up to Hawthorne. Hawthorne, there's another area that's all Navy submarine.
Well, they own this whole
all that
state.
stuff. Sure they do.
They own 95% of the state.
So
It's
they-
government owned.
They jam everything on that road, and so kids are bored to death. And you're looking around. There's no gas stations out there. There's nothing to really pull into.
There's some, they always said they were aliens and stuff out there in spaceships. I think it's just a secret base that where they make them stealth bombers and all that. That's what I think. They come out with all them rumors. I don't think they got.
Well, when I was a kid, I think I was probably, I don't know, I'm guessing around 8, folks. I went out there to what they call Jackass Flats.
Yeah.
What's Area 51 out there?
Right.
And back then they had robots that would lift up buses and stuff. These were like big robots, but for a little kid like me to see that, so I can imagine what they got out there
Oh.
now.
There's that stuff I was driving home from Ely one time, and I can see where people would sometimes think they see UFOs.
Yeah.
Because I'm driving, and all of a sudden I look to my left over here, and there's one of these black stealth. It wasn't it was a bomber, not a fighter. It was the big one. And he was banking to the right. I'm going to tell you something, man. It almost took my breath away. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. And was just about when they were coming out, not a secrecy.
Well, you don't know what
But
it
this
is.
thing was beautiful, man. I'm thinking, really, look at that, man.
And they come out of nowhere.
They do. He was there. I
Yeah.
looked and he was there. He no noise or nothing. I just
Nothing.
looked and I seen something. He was banking. Ooh, I went, that's
well, look
cool.
at all those Apache helicopters. They can fly over you if they're
And don't
in
even-
stealth mode.
that's
You'll
right.
never
That's
know.
right.
You
That's
won't
right.
even hear them.
And then we say we can't find nobody.
Yeah,
They can find Al Qaeda if they want. They read your watch from space if they feel like it.
they do whatever
Serious?
they want from up there. They can do anything they want. You
No,
know, and
you're
they-
right.
they
They
keep-
say they don't know where these guys are. There's 300,000 of them. I mean, come on.
Yeah, 300,000.
Well, you can't find them.
No, they can find them. I think it's just to well,
With them bombers like that one I seen, I'm sure that could itself pretty much take care of half of that mess alone. If you'd have seen that thing.
Technology. Well, look at when
amazing.
they had the Iraq, when they were dropping all them bombs.
shock and awe,
That
baby.
stuff was 15, 20 years old.
Yeah.
That stuff.
They just
and
want to get
said
rid
was
of it.
new. They just want
Yeah.
to dump it, get rid of it. So you can imagine what they've got out there.
Well,
They
just
get
like-
all them smart bombs
Yeah.
and all that stuff. You know,
Like
they
in
can-
Nam, they would napalm. It would tear the whole forest would go down. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody could hide. It was flat.
Yeah, yeah. They drop in and they just
So-
eliminate everything out there.
Exactly.
Burn
There
it
ain't a
all up,
living thing there, man.
You know. Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
who knows what they have? You know.
No, you can imagine what they've got. I mean, they've got jets that fly that nobody can. You know, you can't see them.
Yeah.
You might be
They're
able
so
to hear
high,
them
they-
after they're already about
Yeah.
20 miles away from you. But I hear they're coming out with some new airplane that they've come out with that does like Mach 15. That's supposed to be a commercial
That's 30,000
airplane.
miles an hour.
And they
Mach.
said from here to like France, it takes a little over an hour. Yeah, you like
Well,
that?
there you go. I wouldn't mind that one.
Yeah.
The terrorists don't have time to mess with you.
Oh no,
They only got an hour to get there. You get there in an hour.
But can you imagine the runway? That's got to be a 10-mile runway. to land. You know how that thing come back down at you.
Shit,
No,
don't even give me a peanut and a drink. I'm there. Huh? One bag of peanuts and a drink, and you're wherever you want to go in the world.
yeah,
that's amazing.
$20 for those now.
Yeah, if you can get them.
Yeah, that in the bag. They charging you for the bags.
I'll
now,
tell you what
too.
happened to me once it was in the 80s, I think. I don't know where I was going back east or something. I'm in the bathroom at an airline. I'm smoking a joint.
No, you can
I'm
do
smoking
that.
a joint, and I'm blowing the smoke down the toilet. See? So I come out of there, you know, and there was a stewardess standing there, and she says, "Don't ever do that again." And I said, "All right." Went back to my seat.
Okay.
Now, they'd have the Federal Bureau of Investigation waiting for me when I got off that plane.
Well, they chain you inside that
They
bathroom.
would. They
You
would
can't
have a
get out.
fit.
Oh, yeah.
They would have a fit. But she was sweet. You know, she was not, don't do that no more. You know, and I went, all right.
Be like that show Airplane. Everybody take a whack at you.
Oh, man.
Isn't that something?
I'd fly, but I really don't like it. I feel like a sardine cramped up in there, you know?
Yeah, you're pretty, you know, you do get pretty cramped in there.
Yeah.
You do. And then you always got, you know, you got somebody behind you kicking the back
Yeah.
of your chair,
Our kids.
keeping you awake. Or
And my
whatever.
mom used to say, you know why? If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. I go, yeah, but what if it's his, the guy next to me?
Yeah.
What if it's his
You're
time
going
to
with
go?
him. But I think the most,
to go.
the most irritating thing is you get by one of them bathrooms, that's all you hear. Bing, bing.
Oh,
bing,
yeah.
bing. Listen, we're going to take a quick break right here. Listen to the Vegas Knights Tells. We'll be right back. Denny Baccarat, Jimmy Baggs, missing Danny Craps.
Now, let's return to the Vegas Knights.
Hey, welcome back right here. Listen to the Vegas Knights Tells. We're talking a little bit about the monorails and getting around this city, and now it's airplanes and probably missiles, and we just got a variety of stuff.
they need to
going
get some. But you're right. I mean, now that they have that, what's that new car that they have?
on.
Now
Uber?
the taxis are going to have strike. Now we're getting ready to go into a strike
Yes.
pretty soon.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, anybody can drive their car now. Make
Well-
money doing it.
You know what? It keeps them taxi cabs. Sometimes they got too much power. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when they're the only game in town or whatever that is, the taxi cab authority or whatever, they seem to get a little lax, and they, you know what I'm saying? And they charge high, and
Yeah, I took a cab last year from airport to my house, $76 one way.
and that's not including the tip, right?
$76. I said, wow, that
Yeah.
was ridiculous to me. I said, well, I can't walk it, but guess I'll have to call somebody next time. I'm not going to do that again. That's just raking you over the coals. You
Yeah.
get all of a sudden you get there at $76. Wow.
Almost as much as the flight.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, these towns they get you coming and going. You know, you go from one hotel to another, and it's still going to cost you $10.
Yeah.
They got like a $6 minimum charge, as soon as you get in the cab, it rings up to $6. And then whatever it is to go 30 feet, another $4. It's crazy. But this town's lacking in travel. It really needs to. This city needs to step up to the plate and start thinking about getting some travel around here. There's too many people getting in this little town that they don't know how to drive. half the people.
No, you're right. They don't.
They like to, they cut you off, they flip you off. It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
I try to control myself, because road rage.
There's a lot of it.
Is not cool because there was a guy driving to work, Mexican guy, in lawn place. Old lady in a Mercedes pulls out in front of him. Right? He drives up beside her and he throws his Slurpee cup out the window.
Nice.
At her, hit her in the side of the head. She goes off the road, kills her. This guy's in jail, man.
Yeah.
For involuntary manslaughter. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? A little thing like that, his little pissed offness, that moment. She probably didn't even know what she did. You know what I mean? So that's the way you have to look at it. It's just, who knows? Maybe the guy's in a hurry and going to the hospital. You don't ever know what's on somebody else's thing. You know what I mean? What they're going through.
That's
so I
true.
try not to get into it. And I don't try to go there,
People's got short fuses.
Yeah,
that's for
and then
sure.
they're mad anyway at our government and our society and some of the things we do, and everybody's kind of pissed off,
Yeah.
Me, I think we're not getting laid enough, personally, Everybody's uptight,
Yeah, they
They need to
are
chill
getting
out,
uptight.
Yeah, they are too much uptight, and you can't blame them, I mean, I'm reading I'm gonna throw a little politics at you for a minute, and I love my country, and I am a Syrian. My mother was a Syrian, but I'm reading that they're going to let 200,000 Syrians in our country. I mean, and I'm going to make a prediction that in a few years, if that happens in years to come, that's going to be their Trojan horse to get them Al Qaeda in here to get us from the inside out. I mean, think about it. I mean, I don't know who the people are that are running this country or are making these decisions, but I like to meet that guy, that makes that decision like that. Like, we have enough people we let in our country on our own continent. We don't need anybody from over there. Let them absorb a little bit of it over there. You know what I mean? So who's ever making these decisions,
Well, we did
they're
that.
not
with,
right.
We did that with Cuba and did that with the Haitians.
Yeah,
They
how'd
had
it work
all
out
them
for
in
us?
there. Terrible.
Huh,
Because
Pat? You ever
all
been?
it was
exactly,
prisoners.
exactly. They always send us their junk, and that's what's wrong. You ever seen they're brilliant. The only brilliant people we got out of it was after World War II, when we took a lot of them German scientists under our wing, and that's, thank God for them. I mean, them German Jews were smart guys.
Yeah.
Einstein, the guy that
Oh,
did
yeah.
the bomb. You know what I mean? Now we get all. Not that my relatives were the smartest people in the world or the richest, but we always get people the country can't absorb every broke person in the world. This country can't do it. We can't afford it anymore.
Well, they're
man.
sending us people you can't control.
And that too. Now it's getting to where it's going to hurt us physically. It just creates more problems for us. Like the stabbings in Israel are the same like the ones we've been having here. Tell me that's not connected. Somebody's sitting behind the lines and calling them shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of strange
Things
stuff
happening.
going on.
Yeah, I think we're living in end times, if you want my personal opinion. If you've ever read Revelations, folks, if you ain't got you don't even have to be religious or believe in God. Just read that and tell me that ain't what's happening right now. In our lifetime, we'll see it.
Well, I sure hope not. But
I hope
what I
not
see,
either. But
people are really
they're getting nuts.
more and more and
it's
more
getting
on edge.
worse. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting worse. Now, there's trouble over there. Look how close them Russians are to us in that Syria, man. Our planes are flying in the same airspace.
Yeah.
Somebody hits the wrong button, man. Knocks one, shoots one down. I don't think we'd do anything if they did it to us. But if we did it to them,
No, all hell would break loose.
Yeah.
But it's. I went and visited my sister last year, and she lives in a real small town. And back there, it was like when I was growing up as a kid. People were actually holding the door for you. They were talking to you. kids would help you take your groceries out to your car.
Yeah.
Like, wow, what's going on with this? You know, you back up for a minute because you're so used to people yelling at you, screaming at you that you're like, damn, they fight over a parking lot, for Christ's sakes,
yeah.
to get into
Hey,
Walmart
Pat, let me tell
or
you
Target.
something. When I was a kid, I was the worst kid. I was a mean, not a mean, but just a bad kid,
You were
mischievous.
mean, you were bad.
But I always respected my elders.
Yeah.
Always. It's just an instinct. I always hold a door for people. If I seen an old man need help doing something, you know,
Yeah, they
these
don't
kids
do that
now have no clue.
No.
I'm watching this Cubs game last night. Now you know what a behind home plate ringside seat that thing probably cost. What do you think, man? For the Cubs, the first time in 100 years they've been in the playoffs.
That's got to be. I'm guessing that's going to be a minimum of $3,000.
She's sitting there on her cell phone, man, during the game. While the game's on.
Really? Wow. Well, that's not even watching the game.
Not even
Could care
watching the
less.
game.
Care less.
Yeah. I'm thinking, really, man, some people would die to have that seat, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, they would. They got some diehard fans out there.
Really?
No doubt about that.
Ooh. How about the Mets fans that were there? Did you see that group of Met fans that was in the stadium?
Yeah, I didn't.
And they
have a
were rooting.
chance.
I'm thinking, man, they got some nerve. Especially in that town. That's a crazy ass town. You know what I mean? They take their sport seriously, you know?
Well,
And the Cubs losing, you know what I mean?
that's the
And they're
same
cheering,
with the
think,
L.A.
ooh.
Dodgers. You go out here and watch
Yeah.
the game, and you have that one little crowd over there.
Yeah, really. That one guy got nailed. Remember they beat him
Yeah.
and they not killed him, but they paralyzed
They
him.
paralyzed him, beat him
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they take the game serious. It's getting as bad as the soccer games over
Yeah, in Europe.
in Europe.
That's right.
You know.
And I think it's just the way the people vent their frustrations. You know what I mean? It's
Well,
just,
that's
we're
what
getting
made
hateful.
the cage fighting. What made that so
popular. Yeah, they're
because
mean.
that's what people want. It's not going to be long. We'll be back to the lions, throwing people to the lions. People want to see that. For some reason, they're into.
Well,
all
here's
that.
what I think they should do. You know, when they catch a guy that you know he's a murderer and you're going to give him the chair, he's going to get thing, you know. Don't wait 30 years. Make it pay-per-view. You know, make it pay-per-view so everybody can watch this guy bite it. And that'll pay back for what it costs us to get him there. You know what I mean? To arrest him, to take him to trial, blah, blah, blah. Right?
But the
Why
problem
not-
with that is pay-per-view would lock all the money up.
Yeah, well, you'd have to make it some other thing. Make a deal with him. We'll let you watch if you give us half of the proceeds, you know.
Yeah, and people would watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
They'd tune in.
Are you kidding?
Just like the old Western days when they had a
Hangings.
hanging.
Yeah, it had a party. They had
They had a big
picnics and
party.
stuff.
People sit there and eating hot dogs and
This guy's
watching
swinging.
hanging. You know, kids trying to steal his boots.
Yeah,
when they
really.
fall
That's
off.
right, man.
You
You know,
know,
like
just-
I read a lot, and I'm not a fan of any of these people that I read about sometimes, you know. And I've read all O'Reilly's books, and I've read Mein Kampf, one Hitler wrote. And there was this thing in there, he says, why should we be any nicer than nature? You know what nature does to their sick and they're retarded and they're animals that are born not right?
Oh yeah, they take care of that. That's just.
That's
what
how
it
he
is.
thought. Get rid of them, you know?
Yeah,
He'd take the strong, take them, you know, weak, left behind, man.
Weeks left behind. That's true. He did a little bit more strange though. Where he tried to
Yeah.
turn all them kids into being the ultimate fighters. You know.
Well, the super
All
race.
the super
Aryan,
race.
Aryans. Super race, yeah.
Did all that testing on them to see what would hurt them.
What the
would,
true
make 'em-
Germans were, and
A little strange.
yeah.
You know.
But that's
very
where he
strange.
thought. When I read that book, that's what I got out of it. You know, is the man loved his country, and he just went about it. I don't know. Some of the ideas he had were kind of on the right track, but he just didn't know how to go through with them. You know what I mean? He had good ideas about things, but
Yeah,
went a
he
wrong way
actually-
about doing them.
He
You know, you
actually
can't do
put
that.
them into play
Yeah,
instead of really
thinking about. Yeah,
thinking about
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
He actually said make it happen.
Exactly.
You know, whether it's
Instead of a
hurts him or
solution, he wanted a conclusion. You know, I mean, he didn't want.
not. He wanted to take care of all that stuff right then and there.
Yeah,
You know.
but
And see, you know, there again, if we'd let Patton go through where he wanted to go through, wouldn't have been having any of this.
yeah. How long do you think it'd take Patton to do ISIS?
Well, he would
2
have
weeks?
been in there.
Maybe a week?
He would have been in
Screw
there.
around with these people. It'd have been over. That's what's wrong with us, man.
Well, they're not going to
Which
let it
we're
happen.
scared.
Government's not going to let it happen.
No, that's what I'm saying. Same in Vietnam, like we were talking about before. Same in Korea. At Port Chop Hill, man. I mean, guys died on there, and 3 weeks later, the enemy had it back, and we beat the. Come on.
Yeah.
What initiative does that give you to lose your life? You know,
Got the whole country behind you, but like a handful of them they
Yeah.
die because well, we can't go in there. We, you know, they can kill us, but we
But
can't.
we
kill
can't
them.
kill. Who would sign up for that? That's what these police guys now.
Yeah.
You know, hey, that ain't right. You know, if I can know they can be a little overzealous sometimes. The police, they go over and above sometimes. They get a little pushes of it, but to sneak up and do them, shoot them and stuff, I don't like that.
Well, no,
I don't
that's
like
not
that
cool.
shit.
That's for sure.
No, not
You know,
at
when
all.
that happens, it's happening more and more and
Yeah,
more. You know,
that's
I can
why I'm
see-
saying I think it's like that's all. If you've ever read like I said, I read a lot. The Communist Manifesto says, "Do anything you have to do to get it on. I lie, cheat, steal, kill, whatever, to get your agenda through." And I think we got a lot of that going on up here, man.
We definitely got.
You know who Hillary studied under for years was that communist professor, man. For years, you can't tell me that don't rub off. When you study under somebody, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That and Obama thing, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's makes it bad.
We're going to take a quick break right here. Listen to the Vegas Knights Tales right here. Benny Baccarat, Jimmy Baggs. We'll be back. Listen in, tune in to
Now, let's return to the Vegas Knights.
Hey, welcome back to the Vegas Knights Tales right here. Benny Baccarat, Jimmy Baggs. We're started out with the monorail. We ended up in Timbuktu, but
We're still on the monorail.
we're still on our monorail.
That's how long it takes to go somewhere on the monorail.
Yeah. How do you like it? It's supposed to have went all the way out to the airport, and for some reason it only made it to like I don't know 6-7 hotels.
Yeah.
At the most.
Like our friend here just mentioned here, the thing should go from when the people get out of the airplane, have a big spot there, monorail. Any
Why can't-
casino you want to go to, boom. The casino shouldn't have a choice whether they're going to stop there or not. That should just be part of the loop thing, man.
Well, why
So much
can't
trouble.
they have a thing in the monorail from the airport to the southwest, to the northwest, to the
Yeah.
northeast? To
That's
have
right.
a
Like
center,
go in different directions.
They go different
That's
directions.
right.
They
Spoke
get
it
everywhere
out.
they
That's
need to
right.
go.
That's exactly right.
park and ride, but they won't do it.
No,
and
you
I
know
don't
why?
get it.
Because of the taxi unions and the blah. That's
Yeah, but they can blow
Stops progress
96
sometime.
billion out there.
yeah, I know.
You know, it just don't
Well, I
make
don't
sense
know,
to
but
me. And they
there
can
you
tear
go.
the streets up
Yeah.
and leave them tore up for 2, 3, 4 years, and then tear them up again when they
Remember
finish.
when we
it.
were kids, they used to take a street and they'd make a new street. And then 3 months later, they'd dig it up right down the middle and put a water pipe in there. Remember that? They used
Sure,
to do that. I
they
used to think,
still
what the hell are
doing
they
it.
doing, man? It's
And
called
they
job
made the worse,
security.
make the road worse.
Well, you know that 215 that goes from Ann Road and then it goes to, if you want to go to Ely or up there, I don't know what it connects into. It crosses. They're making it a 4-lane thing on each side.
Oh, you mean northwest out
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
That's going to take them. You know what? If a guy started that at the beginning of his construction career, he
Oh,
could
he'd be
do till
retired.
exactly till they get done with that. It'll
Sure.
take 20-something years to finish that thing.
Yeah.
That'd be a one-site job for your whole career as a whatever you do. You know.
I think
Guys that
the one
push
that's
dirt.
got that's Las Vegas Paving.
Yeah.
I think they got nearly everything locked up in this town.
Yeah. He I see him when we go up there to that guy's cabin up there in Duck Creek.
Yeah.
He owns a big thing up there, man.
Got it? Yeah, it's Mendenhall, I believe, owned that.
I know him.
Yeah.
I know the Mendenhall.
Mendenhall.
And Billy Kahn, he's got a big spread up there too. You remember the old man was the fighter.
Yeah.
Well, his son grew up with us in North Las Vegas. Billy Kahn.
Yeah, it's this town's really lacking in transportation.
Maybe that's what we ought to do, man.
Start up something
A
like
bus
that.
company.
Well, they have a cat bus, but it.
What do you mean by cab bus?
cat?
Cat bus, yeah.
Cat bus.
Okay.
But it's like I said, to get anywhere. I mean, we're lucky to have that, but to get around on it, if you had to take it on a daily basis, it
Well, that's even true with a cab.
yeah.
I lived on some apartments. You know where Western is? I lived in these apartments across the street from Western. I didn't have a car. And I used to take a cab, and I worked graveyard. It was 3. I used to call the cab company before I got in the shower, and tell them. Because the guy always had trouble finding my building. I used to have to stand out in front and flag him down. Every night was a stressful thing to get to work. You know what I mean? I worked at the Continental, and I lived over there, right by there. And every night I'd have to stand out there and wave the guy down. And I said, "Can't you just send the same guy that you send me every night? Every night I call. Why do you send a new guy all the time?"
That's crazy.
He'd get in the place, but he couldn't find the number, and they were a little confusing. But
Another thing
Yes, Peter.
that brings me about this town is the parks. Certain sides of town get these fabulous parks. Other certain parts of town get a little old dinky trash barrel, and they won't do nothing with it. I don't get that.
and that's true with the whole.
It's the same town, but different parts of town. It's a lot better.
Yeah.
It's like it's all segregated for some reason. Well, if you live in this area, you get the best of everything. Well, it shouldn't be that way.
No,
you
that's
know.
the same way on our. We live in an association. I mean, the one guy seems to get everything. He gets a new rock. He gets this one guy right down the street from me. He's been trying to get a light on his street in the community there for 10 years. You go down to this guy's house, it looks like San Quentin.
Sure.
He's got 5 of them around there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's true in all things in life, I guess.
It's all on who you know.
Exactly. I don't care what you know. It's who
Especially
you
in
know.
this town, it's who you know.
Really, you're right. We call it juice.
Yeah, call it juice, but it's been that way from ever
the
since
dawn
I
of
can
time.
remember.
That's right. That's right, man.
If you got the juice, you get what you want.
And I experienced that. I worked at a place for 5 years, and I was a floor man. I could never get promoted. They didn't even look at me, man.
Yeah.
So I got fired from there and went to the place down the street where my friend was the shift boss. I was a backup in 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Back
I
up.
was 5 years with that dude.
And probably didn't even want it.
No, it was easy, but
Yeah.
that was one of the nicest jobs I've ever had in my life. It didn't pay the best, but
It
that was
makes
the
a
only
difference.
job I liked.
Yeah, if you get around people that you enjoy being around.
Well, the
You know, the-
position was perfect. The backup's the perfect. He was never there, so I ran it, and the guy under me did all the work. I mean, I was like in a vacuum there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
all
how
I did was
sweet
walk
that is.
around, and
Yeah,
that's it. It was beautiful.
yeah, it does.
But
That does make
that
it
was nice. But the money wasn't. Well, they made it up in other ways because the floor man could take,
Yeah,
and they couldn't cash anything in unless they went through me. I'm the only one that could go to the cage unless it was cash. You know what I mean? And they'd always give me something.
sure.
And then me, I had the power of the pen.
No, that's
So
huge,
I
having
would,
that power
I'd
to
write them dinner for 4, the
Yeah.
people that I knew, and they'd they'd come up, stuff something in my pocket, either be a black check or a $100 bill. So it did pay in one. When your wife wants you to quit a job because you like it too much, it's a sweet job.
Sure. Power of the pen means
It was sweet, man.
where you
I'm
can
telling
you get
all
to
I do is
sign
walk around
for.
the suit and pick up girls all night. Huh? Hey, girls, what's your birthday? Hey, give them drinks. Tonight, drinks are done to me.
Sure.
That
That's the
impresses
power
people,
of the pen,
man.
where
That
you can
impresses them.
you can comp people
Huh?
in the restaurants
Yeah.
and you give them drinks,
That's right.
shows.
They don't know how. Now they have to go through. How long you have to look through them at the computer? You got to have a $100,000 line to get a buffet now, don't they?
You're lucky. You're lucky
Their
if you
average
get
plate,
that.
Yeah, $25 a hand for
You got to have
3
a lot
hours.
of money just to get a cup of coffee. They don't give you nothing
No.
anymore. They've taken all that away.
Cigarettes. Remember they used to give cigarettes. They give it.
Yeah.
Now they don't want to give you zip.
They give you nothing now. It's sad. It really is sad. And this town needs to really step up. They really do
that
need to
hurt.
step back up.
You know,
Bring this back up to the level it should be.
there ain't nothing that makes a guy feel more important that you say you're a boss and you see him come, hey, Mr. A, how you doing?
Yeah.
How are you? Nice to see you again, man. Thanks for coming back to our hotel. You know, we love you, man. The dealers love.
That right there.
Now,
the
right away, they
handshake.
want to. They're against. They want to give you a hard time. You know,
Mhm.
the guy's got a pocket full of money.
Yeah.
Keep him here.
Yeah.
You're
Guy
gonna
says,
give
hey,
an
can
$8
I,
pack of cigarettes?
Sure.
He'll lose that in one hand.
guy blow 10,000. Can I go to the buffet?
Yeah.
No, you didn't play long enough.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you mean I
No
didn't play long
common
enough?
sense.
No.
Like, say a stranger comes up. You don't know him. He ain't in the system. Comes up to your game, got a pocket full of money. Huh? Change me 10,000. You know, you give him the checks. Guy, 3,200 across. Bob, he's going to town. He gets done. He goes, listen, man, can you write me a Compton Steakhouse? You look him up on the computer and go, you don't have enough play, man. You think that guy ain't going to get hot?
Can't do it.
He's got to get mad, right?
I can send you to a host. You
Yeah,
always
exactly.
got to send it to somebody else
That's right.
instead of being able to take care of it
Right.
yourself.
Use your own judgment,
Yeah.
you know.
You can't do it. No, got to send you somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way this town is anyway,
Yeah.
though.
Well,
But
I
this,
never understood what my father-in-law meant by bean counters. He goes, once the bean counters come in,
It's
that
all
shit
over.
stops, man.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
sad because it's funny. They have them come in, then all of a sudden they sort of disappear. It starts just to start turning around again, then they
They-
bring them right back in again.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to knock out prosperity. When everything starts
I
to get
think they're
where it
trying to
goes.
hurt the whole country, if you want my opinion. I think there's a group of people in there, and I think it started on November 20th, when John F. Kennedy got killed. This
Yeah.
country, they made a coup, man. Another group of people took this country over, man. Think about it. We've been going downhill ever since, haven't we?
We're slowly going down, yeah.
What was that, 50 years ago?
But they're always blaming somebody else.
Yeah.
But yet they won't make the changes themselves.
Like this Bush gets on there, and I sort of lean to the right a little bit. But here's this Jeb Bush getting up there bragging about his brother. Are you really serious? I mean, this guy almost broke the country. How many people went bankrupt in the banks and everything, all that mess when that guy was under the World Trade Center? Sure, yeah. Let me tell you something. When you're at the helm of the ship, when that happens, it's your fault. You know what I mean? His brother said, it wasn't my brother's. Maybe it wasn't actually his fault, but intelligence talks to him, don't they? Huh?
Well, certain people do.
They let everybody in the country under the sun.
Yeah,
You know?
It's the country's changed. It definitely has changed. I don't like what I see.
No,
It's,
nobody does. But
but-
everybody votes for these same people. I don't get it. I think it's a group that's got it locked up, and that's what they're killing this country, man. They're killing it. I'm telling you, they're going to get to the point. You know, in the Constitution, it says when there's tyranny in your government,
Yeah.
it's got to go. But there'd be a tough adversary. They'd probably fight us real hard, huh?
Oh, you kidding?
They wouldn't have any mercy on us,
They'd
though.
have every
right?
military
Yeah.
person out there.
Yeah.
You know, if the American public got tired, say, hey, we start marching on it. It'd be a war all over again within.
But I don't know. This
within our own
happened before.
country.
Hey, you know that 1 million man march? What if they had a 10 million people march? United States patriots and citizens
Well,
march
then
on them clowns.
Then you wouldn't see nothing on the TV about that. You'd have mass killings, but nobody would hear anything about
Yeah.
that. You know.
Well, sometimes maybe the police, they probably, I don't know. That's a toss-up.
Yeah.
It happens in other countries, man.
Yeah, it's
Doesn't it?
it does. It definitely
Look what they
does.
yeah.
There's no
So that
doubt
doesn't mean
about
it
it.
can't happen here.
Oh, it definitely happened here. There's no doubt about it. You know, and
Maybe
whoever
we-
says it can't, it can. You know,
Anything can happen. I mean, you never know, man.
never know.
You never know.
That's true. You never know. Just crazy, crazy.
But sometimes it seems to us like we try to do things to help the enemy. Like when we left Iraq, we left them all that equipment and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Destroy it or something, you know?
Yeah.
They left it there for them. And then the guys we trained took their uniforms off and ran. What's that all about?
Yeah, that wasn't
Huh?
right. That's not right either. Yeah, it's definitely not right there. So, but yeah, it's definitely changed. I just wish, and like I said, somebody would stand up to the plate and start getting this town a little
Donald
bit
Trump.
back in order.
Oh yeah, I don't know
You
about
know.
that, but
You know, I mean, I don't know. They just walk up and down the strip.
yeah, it's
and
horrible.
take a
man.
look. It's
Yeah.
terrible. It's
From
nothing
years
like
ago
this.
when we were kids, I was telling Danny that when I first went out to the Win with Danny that time, I couldn't believe it, man. I hadn't been out on a strip in years. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I said, "This is starting to look like downtown now.
Yeah, it is.
Bums laying around on the street and these crack whores walking up and down and really."
Yeah.
When,
It's,
when Ralph Lamb was sheriff, these some bitches would be out in the desert somewhere. You never seen anybody walking around like that.
no, never. No, that didn't happen. You know, they put a halt to that in a hurry.
In a real hurry. They just call it, what they used to pick us up for? Loitering.
Yeah.
Remember, if we were kids, they'd stop if you didn't have no money on you? Yeah. That's loitering.
That's loitering. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Just hanging out. No, you're not.
You might have been, but you're not going to be for long.
Yeah. Listen, we're going to take a quick break right here. Listen to the Vegas Knights Tales, Benny Baccarat, Jimmy Bags, missing the Danny Craps.
Let's return to the Vegas Knights.
Hey, welcome back to the Vegas Knights Tales right here. Benny Baccarat, and we got Jimmy Bags right here. Again, if there's anybody out there with some money that wants to open a casino, look us up. We'll run a casino. We'll show what a casino can be run like and how people are to be treated. It will straighten a lot of these casinos out.
We'll steal a lot of their customers.
Oh, we'd steal
You
all
had
their
a big
customers.
enough bankroll.
You know.
And here's another thing they do nowadays that I never understood this, and I was taught this was one of the first things I was ever taught, is you never let them run you never let the player, no matter who he is or what he is, run your joint, you know? Give me a special table here, I don't want that dealer, I want that dealer. No, you come in my establishment, you go by our rules, or you go next door. I mean,
all.
Michael Gahn taught me that years ago, man.
Yeah.
You never let the player control that game, or you're done.
That's
You
true.
let one, you're done.
No.
Now these players are scared to even say anything to them, you know.
Well, they don't want to say. They're afraid they're going to
They're
lose.
afraid to lose their job.
lose their
And you know
job.
what? The joint's always back the player now. In the old days, you were a part of the family. They protected you a little bit in that spot, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Now-
always came to you first.
Yeah, what
to
happened?
find out what
Or
happened.
what-
Now they go to the guest.
Yeah.
Oh, he did that. Well, then you're in trouble.
Let me tell you an example, man. This is my first day at this job. I go on this 21 game, right? Guy on third base, you know, face up, boom, face up, boom. I get to his hand, he's got a queen and an 8, right? So I just went ahead and hit my hand. He went, wait a minute, I wanted a hit. You know what went through my mind right there? I wanted to beat the piss out of this guy right at that moment, man. I did. I wanted to choke him to death right there. I really did. And he called the floor man over, and the floor man went, well, he's giving him options of what to do, you know. He says, what do you want to do? You really want to hit that? And the guy said, yeah. So I hit him with a 6. Well, wait a minute. I didn't know.
I didn't want that.
It's
card.
just the point is he passed me without asking me. I'm going to tell you something. I really wanted to get this guy terribly, man. I mean, I thought, what?
18. Yeah.
Come on, man. Why would you even bother with that? You know, I mean,
Yeah,
are you that desperate to take a shot for $10 to maybe cost a guy his job for your 10 stinking dollars? I mean, what's your point? You know, that was the hardest part about me with the public. Yeah. They
That's
try to,
about
they
it.
don't care about you, or they'll put you in a situation, and just when you think they're friendly to you, they'll take a shot at you, you know. Would I have that last hand? Finally, I told one guy, let me tell you something. Take my word for it when I take your money.
Yeah.
Because you lost, you know.
There's a lot of shot takers.
Every
in
time.
there.
Every
A lot
time.
of
It's
shot
sickening,
takers.
you know,
It
really.
is
And they
sickening.
put up with them, you know.
Yeah. And they you know, well, we're sorry. They'd rather give them a buffet
Yeah.
than give a
Than a big
good
player, yeah.
anything.
That's right. And that's what they, you know what, there's a place online that teaches them how to
Oh,
get
sure
things
there
in
is.
Vegas.
Yeah, there
how to
is.
work the floor man, how to act, how
Sure.
to cause trouble to get this.
How
And
to put that dollar on the
cost
line
me
for
a
the
job
dealers.
once.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's rampant. That's
Yeah.
true. It's all over. But it's every casino you go to now.
Yeah,
there's shot takers
because they're fighting for their because they know they can get it on.
They can get it on. The first one, they always say give it to them.
Yeah,
And they know that.
that's right.
You know, me, I wouldn't let him give it on. No.
I told one floor man one time I was dealing. I said, if you give the guy the thing, get a new dealer over here. You know, that's about the fourth shot he's taken on me, and it ain't going to happen again. If it does again, get yourself another guy over here, because I'm done with him.
Yeah.
You know, and the floor man, he knew I was serious. You know, he ain't doing it again.
But that's the problem. They don't back their own people.
It was that war shit. It was the war. The first card, Bubba, and the guy kept every other hand he's taking a shot. Oh, wait a minute, I wanted to play that, man. Wait a minute. I said, number one, get your hands away from the circle and the thing. I don't want you sitting there like this. Get away from it. Get your chips back here. You know what I mean? That way there's no discrepancy on if you wanted to play it or not. Like he drop a check here and then say, but no. You know, I'm going to make you go 6 inches to get to that square.
And now the guy's going to say, he's giving me a hard time.
That's exactly what he said. And I says, that's right, I am giving you a hard time. I says, because I'm going to tell you something. Because there was one time I really made a mistake on the square. He was right, and he jumped all over me. That's when I told him. I said, let me tell you something, partner. I've let you get away with 3 or 4 close call things that really you shouldn't have got. So now you're going to call him over on the one thing that you knew I did. From that point on, man, I never get a guy no slack.
It's over.
I tore him up. I did. I said,
now.
it's over now, Jack. Now you're going to come from here to there.
Yeah, the game's on now.
And he knew it. I said, I didn't know. You know, and me, sometimes when I got older, I had a way of just saying things that, you know.
Yeah, we all do when you get to a certain
point. Yeah. I mean, you're giving them all the grace in the world, and then they're going to jump on you and you know, at the end, they're going to turn on you, you know.
Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah, that's right.
But it does. It happens on a daily basis now, where before it didn't happen as much because they knew that the bosses were going to back you. Now it's the opposite way.
Yeah, that's right.
So now they hammer you.
Well, you kind of don't. Like, sometimes I used to catch these dealers fixing their own mistakes. And I said, man, don't do that.
Yeah, don't
just
do
call
that.
me
Yeah,
over. It
that's
just
it.
creates more.
Don't do that.
Get. You know?
Yeah.
But when you start making 3, 4 mistakes at a time, they get tired of calling you over because they're not, you know what I'm saying? I said, it don't matter. I don't look at it that way. Just let me get you through your 40 minutes and, you know what I mean? Go take a break or whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But don't because they'll have you nuts, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Really, they'll drive you crazy.
And drive you nuts. Well, listen, I want you to thank everybody for listening to the Vegas Knights Tells right here. Benny Baccarat, Jimmy Baggs. We're doing a little venting, a little talking about the monorail, trying to get a sponsor for us for this hotel. Somebody call in. Give us the money. We'll show you how to run a joint. Anyhow, thanks for listening to the Vegas Knights Tells right here.
See you next week, folks.
Next week. Great.
But you paint me colors of red and white.